Two Calgary Police Service patrol members were pepper sprayed during the arrest of two individuals allegedly involved in a stolen vehicle incident. At approximately 2 a.m. on Wednesday, March 8, 2017, patrol officers attempted to stop a vehicle on Penbrooke Drive S.E. The vehicle failed to stop for the police and fled. Officers called for further resources and did not pursue the vehicle as it fled. The vehicle was located a short time later, abandoned in Fonda Court S.E, where it was confirmed to be stolen. Officers followed footprints in the snow and were able to safely take a woman into custody. The male driver continued to flee from police on foot. Officers confronted the man in the area of 36th Street and Memorial Drive East. He pulled an object out and one officer deployed his conducted energy weapon, CEW, with negative results. The man then pepper sprayed both officers directly in their faces. One of the officers deployed a CEW for a second time, and again with no effect on the man, who then pepper sprayed officers a second time. The suspect fled and the officers followed, fighting through the debilitating effects of the pepper spray. The man then pulled a 12-inch knife that had been concealed in his pants and turned to face the officers, raising the knife in a threatening manner and telling the officers to shoot him. One of the officers was able to deploy a CEW for the third time, this time temporarily incapacitating the man. Once the effect of the CEW wore off, the man continued to resist arrest, but was ultimately taken into custody without further injury to the officers involved. The officers were treated by EMS at the scene. The woman was found to have a baton on her, along with a backpack full of mail from over 50 different people and small amount of marijuana. The stolen vehicle was identified as one that had been taken during the overnight hours of March 3rd from the community of Mayland Heights as a result of the keys being left inside the vehicle overnight. Brittany Ann Manning, 18, was charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana. She will next appear in court on Wednesday, April 26, 2017. Eric Richard Coron, 22, was arrested on 36 outstanding warrants and is facing 12 charges in relation to this incident, including 2 counts of assault of a peace officer with a weapon. The investigation into the stolen mail is continuing. I'll take any questions.
Pepper spray, is this becoming an increasingly common concern, more common encounters with this kind of thing among officers?
I think in general, we are seeing crimes being committed with offenders having pepper spray, bear spray. They are using this as part of their weapon of choice in addition to whatever else they might have. So it is common to see pepper spray or bear spray, and that's not just on the police, it's on the public in general.
When you say CW, you guys use a taser, I'm guessing?
Yes, yes.
So, when it deploys, does it retract afterwards? So how did they get 3 deployments out of 2 tasers?
You have to change the cartridge, so it does not retract. So once you deploy, you have to change the cartridge to a new one. So again, these situations are very dynamic. These officers fought through getting pepper sprayed. This isn't a feat in itself. I don't know if any of you have been pepper sprayed, but it is debilitating. And I commend these officers for their tenacity and fight to keep going and fight through this and deploy their CEW. We're faced with these challenges with offenders that are becoming more and more violent, and they don't want to be arrested. And these challenges happen on a daily basis that our officers are facing. And we rely heavily on our training. We have excellent training. And these officers go out nightly and face these kinds of incidents. And they have the utmost professionalism in fighting through these things and dealing and arresting these individuals with utmost professionalism.
Was the suspect on drugs at the time or incapacitated in some?
That information I don't know at this time. What I do know is that he did not want to be arrested, and he was asking for our members to shoot him. And I think that in itself shows that our officers have to make these decisions in split seconds. Whatever's presented in front of them, they have to take that information in and use the skills that they've received, the training they received, and the excellent decision-making that they display to take these individuals into custody without incident.
So we
How
know in
concerned-
Calgary, multiple times, officers have, when faced with a weapon or being threatened in that way, they have deployed a firearm.
Mhm.
What's different in this case? What's happened in terms of training, in terms of protocol, or why did this happen in this way this time?
Every situation is different, so that's the first thing. Every situation is different, and again, when officers respond to these types of calls, we have to take in the information that's presented. There were support officers that arrived on the scene as well that could assist with providing lethal coverage for these officers. Again, they're fighting through this, this pepper spray and doing the best they can. And I think the decision that they make, that is they take in that information. So every situation is different. So it doesn't mean that every situation is a shooting. It doesn't mean that every situation is a taser deployment. It's what circumstances are presented, and we rely on our officers to make those decisions as to how they feel, what dangers are presented, and we trust our officers to make those decisions, and we support our members in any decision.
In
How
the
can-
face of recent, so I just want to have a few thoughts in one sort of
Yeah.
clump, if I may. In the face of recent, like ACERT investigations and shootings that we have seen, has training changed?
We still tell our officers that what is presented to you, you have to make those decisions. We can't say, if this happens, you will do this. The officers are in that moment. They see the danger that's presented. We can't tell our officers, you will fire your service weapon if this happens. That is something that the officer has to feel themselves as to the danger that's presented to the public, the danger that's presented to themselves. So to answer your question, we're not telling them when they should shoot, when they shouldn't shoot. We can't tell them that.
It's the same training as others would have had in other cases?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
How long were these two officers on the force, do you know, approximately?
You know what?
Sometimes you say they were new or they were veterans.
You know what? I think they're at least 3 years.
We can try to get them.
I can get that information, but I don't have that exact, but I can get it for you.
And you said that other officers, they had arrived already? At what point were there other officers there to sort of provide that backup on the ground, not just coming, but that they were there observing this too?
When the individual had the knife and was challenging our officers, we had 2 other backup officers ready. They were there, and they were there to support our 2 members.
Was this guy advancing on the officer with the knife?
No, he was standing, waving the knife above his head and challenging them.
How far?
Approximately 10 feet, 12 feet, maybe.
Did the officers at any point grab their guns, pull them out of their holsters?
The cover officers did have their weapons out because obviously the other officers had their tasers deployed. So we did have lethal coverage. So if that individual had advanced, we did have that lethal opportunity option to
Right,
present.
so the 2 initial officers who had done the original pursuit, they just had the tasers out, but the supporting officers, they did have guns drawn.
Correct.
And can you give us an idea from start to finish, kind of how long this entire episode spanned? Are we talking, was it relatively short, like 5 minutes? Did it extend a little bit longer into 10? Do we have enough a time range of how long this whole thing happened?
To be honest with you, I don't. I don't think it was that long, but I can get it for you. Like, it wasn't like it was very quick.
Kind of on the same string that she was talking about, given the aggression, I guess you're saying in some of these situations, does that change the way that officers may approach these situations going forward in terms of training?
We rely on our officers to make decisions when these circumstances present themselves. So when officers attend a scene and they feel that a scene is, or a situation is escalating, we have level of force options and tools that we can use to de-escalate that situation. If a situation becomes a deadly threat, then we have that option. We have our weapons that we use for deadly force. We don't expect our officers to be in a deadly force encounter or a situation that may be deadly force and to not feel that they have that ability to use deadly force. We support our members. We support our members to be able to go out there and keep the public safe and to use the excellent training they have and decision-making they have, and they do this on a nightly basis. And I think it's evident that our members go out and do an exceptional job to protect Calgary, and they are facing these individuals that are becoming more violent in crime and do not want to stop for the police, do not want to be arrested, and create these violent altercations, which put our officers in a position of having to look at what option they're going to use. So we support our members out there. We know that they're doing the best, an exceptional job, and it is a difficult job to do when you're faced with these types of situations on such a frequent basis.
Sorry, you probably don't like this term. I don't know what to say to this, but is this a situation of sort of suicide by cop?
You know what? It's possible. It's possible that this individual, you know, I can't say what he was thinking. I can say what he told our officers. Whether he really wanted that to happen, I have no idea. But again, that's the credit to our members to look at the situation and to determine what is the best appropriate, you know, having the CEW, the taser deployed, but having that lethal coverage as well, so that our members stay safe and the public stays safe, and we do the best we can to take these individuals with the least amount of force as possible.
You mentioned with the mail found in the backpack, there's
Yeah.
more investigation going into
Yeah.
that. First of all, do we know what neighborhood all that mail was from, or was across the city?
No, we're still investigating that, so we don't know exactly where it's all from. So that's going to be continuing, and we'll find out from what's...
Could both of them face more charges in the future if that
Yes.
investigation goes forward?
Yes.
How are the officers doing, by the way?
They're doing well. They're doing well. None of the officers, except for the pepper spray, were hurt in the incident. Again, they haven't missed work. They are, I'm very proud of the way all of the officers responded to this incident. This is an example, again, of the level of professionalism that our members display.
One last question. Is there a protocol that goes through now that a taser has been deployed? Like, is there special paperwork that has to get completed, that kind of stuff? What, is it similar to firing a gun?
Absolutely. We have to do a use of force report indicating each instance where we take out our taser and deploy and the circumstances around it. So absolutely, there is a use of force report that must be completed.
Does ACERT need to investigate, though?
No, no.
Okay. I have a couple questions as well. So taser, same officer discharged the second taser, or did they take turns, one and then the other?
I think they took turns, but I don't know exactly, but they both had them out. And again, they're both fighting through not being able to see, you know, clearly, and
why were they trying to stop the vehicle in the first place?
they tried to do a traffic stop. The plate was, I believe the plate was stolen.
Well, so they identified
Yeah.
that, and then they,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah.
And there's three, so help me with this, I'm sorry, 3 counts of possession of a weapon. So we have knife.
Sorry.
This is for the gentleman.
No, there's 2, let's see here.
I'm wondering how we have 3.
Did I say 3?
In the list with Eric.
Um,
Point.
he's facing 2 counts of assault of a peace officer with a weapon.
2 lines down, 3 counts of possession of a weapon.
Okay, I don't have that on my
Oh.
on my sheet.
Okay, so he had a knife and he had pepper spray. That would be 2.
Yeah, I don't know what the third. I
And
don't know
then
the
the third
third.
on his, in his bag or something.
Yeah.
We don't know at this point.
Correct.
The guys-
How come the first the first 2 taser shots didn't work. Was it clothing or mental?
It might have, one probe might have not gone into the individual. So again, when they're deploying it, lots of different factors can come into play. So that's why further deployment was needed. And the third one was successful.
Are there concerns among the force about the effectiveness of these
As in,
just how well they work, their stopping ability, and are there concerns?
no, there's not any concerns. Again, each situation is different. It's dependent on, do we think that this is a proper time to deploy the CEW? Not every time is going to be effective. There's a lot of different factors that can come into play. Do they work? Absolutely, they work. And are they an excellent use of force tool for us and an option of less lethal? Absolutely. These are the tools that our officers carry so that they have those options to move up and not go directly to lethal force.
Do you know the relationship between the man and the woman?
No, I don't.
Okay. And in terms of mail, just for clarity, they're addressed to different people, right?
That-
We say they're from 50 different, but they're addressed to 50 different.
I believe that's correct because they are, there's multiple, and again, that information will be coming forward once they get a chance to dive into that part.
But it's believed that these people were breaking into mailboxes.
They've got this mail somehow, so it was either in mailboxes or the community mailboxes, or somehow they've been getting these. But again, that part we're just not sure. But they were unlawfully in possession of this mail.
Okay, just really quickly,
Yeah.
the officers, this individual, Mr. Cron, with the 36 outstanding warrant, they weren't aware that this was this individual, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and maybe just really quickly, the fact that this person was on 36 outstanding warrants, I mean, how satisfying is it that you have someone now apprehended who obviously was sought for many different alleged offenses?
I think this is very satisfying. This is a testament that, again, our officers go out there every day, and they this is a common. There's lots of stolen vehicles in Calgary, and these vehicles are being used for crime. And to have this individual apprehended without incident and is now going to be going before the courts for these charges and the warrants, it is satisfying that we can take one more person off the streets of Calgary and make our streets safer. That is our goal.